Hi there. We are going to go through some angle facts questions together, and then at the end of this video, I'll be setting you off with a problem-solving task involving the angle facts that we've just discussed. Okay, so if we look at this first question here, and I'm asking you to work out the missing value of angle A. We should be aware that angles on a straight line always have a total of 180. So therefore we can use that angle fact to work out the missing value of A. If we add the two known angles together, we would get 123 degrees. If we take that value, subtract it from 180 degrees, we're going to find that the value of angle A is 57 degrees. Another angle fact that we should be aware of is that the three angles in a triangle, no matter whether it's an equilateral triangle, isosceles triangle, scalene triangle, will always add up to 180 degrees. So a very similar fact between these two questions. In order to work out angle B, my method is going to be very similar. I'm going to add up the two known angles, 89 and 42, which is going to tell me that those two angles combined is 131 degrees. Then I'm going to subtract that value from 180, which will tell me that the missing angle B is 49 degrees. When we're answering questions like this, although the temptation is to work in our heads, I would like to see some working out as best we can. So you can see for both calculations there, I've shown a little bit of calculation. I've shown the addition I've done of the two known angles, and then I've shown the subtraction I've done from 180. You may need to use column addition, you may need to use column subtraction, whatever way you are comfortable with to find the missing angle. So the first two facts. Angles on a straight line have to add up to 180. Angles within a triangle also have to add up to 180. Okay, a couple more questions here. This time we've got angle C, and it's involved in a full circle. Angles around a point. Angles around a point have to add up to 360 degrees. That's how many degrees are in a full turn, a full circle. So in order to find the missing angle C, I'm going to add up my known angles, 165 add 104, which gives me 269. This time I'm going to subtract from a total of 360, which is going to tell me that angle C, the missing value, is 91 degrees. If I move over to this question, we now have a quadrilateral, which remember is a four-sided shape. Any four-sided shape can be referred to as a quadrilateral, whether it's a rectangle, a kite, a parallelogram. We could call it a quadrilateral. The angles contained within a quadrilateral, they also have to add up to 360 degrees. So in order for me to work out angle D, I add up the three known angles to get a total of 288. I subtract that total from 360 to tell me my missing angle, angle D, would be 72 degrees. Just like the previous two questions, I would like to see a little bit of working out for these calculations. Show me the additions you're doing, show me the subtractions. If you need to work in columns, then that is fine as well. But showing me some maths, showing me some notation, rather than using this as a mental arithmetic exercise. Let's have a look at a few more questions on angle facts. Okay, so two slightly different questions, but we're still going to use the facts that we're aware of. In the first question here, we already know that angles within a triangle have to add up to 180 degrees. In this question, we have these two little dashes, which is now telling us that this is an isosceles triangle. That in turn tells us that the two base angles here and here have to be equal. So in order for me to work out the missing angle A, I'm going to take 180 and subtract 64. which is going to tell me that both of these angles combined equal 116 degrees, which I'm then going to divide by 2 to tell me that angle A would have to be 58 degrees. So yes, I've solved that problem, but I used the angle fact of angles in a triangle adding to 180 degrees in order to get my answer. Okay, the slightly harder question here. If we look at this part of the question, we've got a triangle. We already know that this triangle has to add up to 180 degrees. So to start with, I'm going to work out this angle here. If I add the 62 and the 55 together, I get 117. And if I subtract that from 180, that's telling me that this angle here is 63 degrees, this angle here. However, that's not the angle that I'm asked to find. I'm asked to find angle B. But another angle fact that we should be aware of is that vertically opposite angles, so this angle and this angle, because they are the opposite side of a cross, the opposite side of an X, they have to be equal. Mathematically speaking, we call that vertically opposite angles being equal. So if this angle here was 63 degrees, then we know this angle here would also have to be 63 degrees. Okay, let's have a look at 2 more questions. Okay, if we look at the first question, we've got a straight line here. So we are aware that to find angle C, all 4 angles here have to total 180. If I add up the 3 angles I'm aware of, the 3 known angles, I get a total of 130 degrees, which I can then subtract from 180. It's going to tell me that angle C is 50 degrees. If we look at the green question, I've got a quadrilateral here. So at first I'm going to try and work out this angle here. I'm going to add together 90 because this represents a right angle, 112 and 85, which comes to 287. I'm going to use this total and I'm going to subtract it from 360 to work out this angle here. This angle here would therefore be 73 degrees. But that's not what the question asks for. The question asks for angle D. If I know this angle here is 73, and I have a straight line here, that means that angle D and my known angle of 73 have to equal 180 degrees. So I take 180, I subtract 73, I'm left with my value for angle D being 107 degrees. Okay, so that was a little review of some angle facts and a little bit of problem solving on the last couple of questions there. I'm just about to give you a task to work through. Okay, the beauty of this video is that you can pause it and stop it, move it forward, move it back whenever you want to see the questions or see the solutions or see the hints. So I'll talk through the task and you pause the video when you think you need to. Okay, I'm going to give you a set of questions. You can see there's 9 on the screen there, and in each question you need to work out the missing angle by applying the appropriate fact. There's another 6 questions there, so there's 15 questions in total. Each question you're working out the labeled angle. So your task is you have been given 15 angle problems. You need to use your knowledge of angles to calculate the missing angle in each question. One thing to note is that the diagrams are not drawn to scale, so you can't use a protractor and measure them, and you can't just assume an angle because it looks like 94 degrees. You need to apply a mathematical fact to find the answer. Once you have answers to all 15 questions, I want you to rank your answers from largest to smallest to check your final answer with mine. This is what your answer sheet should look like. Once you've got your 15 answers, there should be a lot of working out on a bit of paper or possibly your maths exercise book. And with your 15 answers, you're going to put them in order from the largest answer down to the smallest missing angle answer. If you need some help throughout the task, there is a screen here, which again you can hit pause, and it gives you a few hints, reminds you of a few of the facts we talked through at the beginning of the video. So you can pause this screen if you need those hints. I'm now going to go through the answers and the solution to the question. So remember, if you're working through the task, you could have paused the video on the previous slides. Okay, here are my answers from A to L. A to I, sorry. So hopefully you can match up your answers with my solutions on the screen. Again, you can pause if you need a little bit longer. There are my solutions for the remaining 6 questions. So with all of those 15 solutions, you should be able to put them in descending order from largest to smallest, and you should end up with a solution that looks like this. If you could mark your work, give a little bit of time to self-assess, to self-reflect. If there's any errors or misconceptions, go back over your work and have a little look at where you've made any mistakes. If you've got all 15 answered correctly and in the right order, then that is absolutely fantastic. You've shown some great understanding of the topic of angle facts.